Introducing Instagram teen accounts. A new way to keep your teen safer as they grow. Like making sure they always have their seatbelt on.
All right, sweetie pie, buckle up. Good job.
Or ring the bell on their bike.
Okay, kid, give it a try. Nice.
Or remember their elbow pads.
Knees too, okay? Yep. There you go.
New Instagram teen accounts. Automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is now streaming on Hulu.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything.
I am running on about, 8 hours of sleep for the last 48 hours. And I know as a woman, you aren't allowed to say that you look old, but the dehydration from the plane and the exhaustion, I look like I did a filter to see what I would look like when I'm older. And then I was just like, well, I don't want to look at myself, so I'll wear my hood like this. So if you see the gram that we do for this, I look like the shame woman from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think it's the little the fact that you've got your little thing so cozily wrapped around you. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not just you got your little ears tucked out.
Girls, if you want to upset your partner, put your hood on and then tuck the hood behind your ears.
It's really upsetting.
It makes Noah upset. Like he doesn't like to look at me when I do this. He's like, it's just really ugly. I just don't have a face for like a medieval elf hood.
Oh.
It's giving Enchanted Forest.
Yeah, that's like you'd have a little circlet on your head with one little gem on your forehead. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I look like something on the cover of like a lawn oracle sphere that you could like power with water. Like Wizard's Delight. I don't know. I flew in from Calgary. I had to fly to Seattle. It's only an hour and 20-minute flight. I was going to make this my bottom of the cob, but I'm just going to say it to the Alaskan Airlines flight attendant who on a 7 a.m. flight, and keep in mind, this is coming from Calgary, so you know people had to get there at like 4:30 a.m. because of weird customs, with the cabin dimmed and most people sleeping or wearing eye masks and sleeping, decided before our descent, as we were coming into the Seattle-Tacoma area, to give us a sightseeing tour. Dead asleep. And this self-involved woman, who did have a pleasant voice, was like, hey, you guys, I'm just going to give you a little tour. If you look out the left, you will see. And she started pointing out like things that you could find if you just went to like wikipedia.com/Seattle. It was like, and there's our Space Needle made for the 1986 World Fair. Then you can see our Eye, which is a fucking Ferris wheel, which literally every city has, because they were like, ooh, London has one. We should all have Ferris wheel. It wasn't even that informative. And it's just like, read the fucking room. Like, I'm sorry that you're bored and had some coffee, but like, people have eye masks on.
Right.
And then she only stopped talking because we could hear the gears and the wheels. She was like, oh, we're about to land. I'm like, why let that stop you? Why not hold us hostage at the gate while you finish your little weird basic tour of Seattle? It was just the epitome of tone deaf.
Right.
Who asked for that? It wasn't even like, check out Mount Rainier. She was like, there we have Seattle's iconic Pike Street Market. Fun fact, the Needle and the rotating restaurant. I hope someone is on that flight so they can commiserate.
Reach out.
I don't even care about the other side. I'm so over the internet being like, as a flight attendant, we work tirelessly to make sure you're safe. So if we want to wreck your morning, that's our God-given right. No, that was awful.
Yeah.
You really ruined the last 7 minutes of that flight.
Oh, no, not the last 7 minutes.
Not the last 7 minutes.
All right. Well, you want to fight someone?
I'm more than ever.
I know, always. This is just therapeutic for you.
Okay, here is my fight me. Handshakes, but particularly handshakes with women on women. If I'm meeting you in a social situation, like at a party, a fundraiser, or when I'm standing at a bar, when my friend introduces me to you, why do I have to shake your hand? We are women. Can't we just look at each other in the eye, smile, and say, nice to meet you? We're not doing a business deal or closed on a real estate sale or have come to an agreement. Why am I standing with a glass of wine in my hand and trying to look cute? Do we need to look like we are reenacting a scene from Glengarry Glen Ross? Fight me.
I will not fight you. I am the original proclaimer that women should not shake hands. There's just no reason. And especially when you're shaking hands with another woman, 8 times out of 10, you get, so what is that, 2 times out of 5?
Yes.
You get that like tepid, like sad bird claw. They're like, nice to meet you. And then it just makes me not like you.
Or
The
limp.
whole point of shaking hands is to show that you mean them no harm. And now you gave me a bad shake. Now I do mean you harm. We should not have to shake hands. And I'll take it further. You shouldn't have to shake hands with anyone that you meet if you're not doing business. It's just too much. My driver picks me up. He's like, hi, I'm Rick. You're like, instead of shaking my hand, I'm just handing you the bag. Like, we don't need to show that we're unarmed. We don't need to agree. We don't need to shake hands. Everyone. Oh my God.
Is anyone doing a handshake in good faith? I don't think they are. People are either trying to like assert dominance or they're judging. Nobody's doing it in the way that you hug someone. It's always you're gauging something when you do a handshake.
I actually don't think so, Emily. I think people are on autopilot. And I think there are people who don't really know professionalism, so they cosplay as professional. It's like, oh, I should be shaking your hand because I'm in a jewel tone shirt and square-toed Kenneth Cole reaction shoes from 2010. And I want you to know that I'm a serious business person, even though we both know I'm bullshit. Like, I was at a gig one time and my security guard who like reeked of weed, I got out of the car and he was like, he like shook my hand. I'm like, we don't have to, we'll both just do our jobs.
Right. Okay.
Like, have we learned nothing from a pandemic?
Here's my question then. I have a follow-up question to this fight me.
I always tell everyone I'm sick.
You say
I'm
you're
just like, I'm sick. I don't want to get you. You're sick. I just always go, I'm sick. I don't want to get you sick. And then they're like, oh my God, she's so nice. Versus like, I don't want to touch your skin clam hand.
Skin clam. Okay. I am going to New York for a night.
Hairy rubber glove.
Go to New York for a night to accept an award. Top women in media.
You're one of the tops?
I mean, yes, but
I never pegged you for a top. I've also never pegged you.
so
Don't
hits
look at
just
me.
keep coming. So it's all women in media and like marketing and whatever. Like, so I have to. I'm gonna have to shake hands, right?
Here's what you do. No. And this will be perfect for you. One hand, you have an unspiked Long Island iced tea. So in one hand, you just have juice, and in the other hand, you hold a bag of snacks. And when they walk up, you're like,
go,
ah.
Honestly,
it.
it's a pretty good move to have a plate and a cup and be like, hi. Because I don't
And then
want
you
to
try to balance it. No, but then you're going to have to balance it and you're going to have to talk about how awkward. Sorry, I'm coming in for that.
Right.
I've just got to set down these pigs in a blanket. It doesn't matter what I tell you because you will shake hands because you will so desperately want to be professional and avoid the awkwardness that you'll just shake the hand.
That's the problem is I don't want to be the instigator, but I am just going to be looking for cues like, what are we all doing here? Because I don't know any of these people.
You give them the little, put your hand up and go, hi, little hand. Should
I
can't
do
see it. Little handshake.
Finger guns?
No, and not even as a joke.
Not even
People
as
are
a
so
joke?
hacky. Not even as a joke should you ever do finger guns. Do you know what I do sometimes when I come out on stage? People are going nuts. I will wave to someone that's not there. Like as if I'm at like the DNC.
I've
Just be
occasionally,
like, hey there.
I've-
Looking up in the balcony.
without thinking, I have done a salute, like kind of thing, like a, and then I'm like, why? Where'd that come from?
It comes from your lesbian energy.
Do they salute?
Like, I don't know anything about your
I have
sexual
a
spectrum.
real. You'll wait till you get to my bottom of the cob is going to bring the lesbians out in force. So get ready, lesbians. What did Billy Eichner used to say? Hey, let's go, lesbians. He need to get them to run around New York with him. Do you remember
I love
that?
it. No, but that's awesome. Let's go, Les. That
That song
those
is,
girls.
it's good for everything. Like you hear those chords and you're just like, yeah, let's go.
Noah says that I sing it wrong.
You did
That
add an
there's, like-
extra note.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
Where?
No, that was too many.
The last one.
Yeah, you were adding an extra one in like the last 5 notes.
I made it my own. I riffed it.
Now they can't sue ASCAP or whatever. Now it's safe.
Yeah, there you go.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp.
I know being thankful is on everyone's minds, and with thankfulness comes gratitude, a concept that honestly really bothers me. I'm tired of thanking everyone else. You know who deserves a thank you? Me. You deserve a thank you. When's the last time you thanked yourself? Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we are doing the absolute best we can. So here I am reminding you to send some thanks to the people in your life, but mostly send some thanks to yourself. And a great way to do that is with therapy. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and it's suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. You don't have to travel anywhere. They take the hassle out of finding that perfect therapist. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Iliza today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Iliza. Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, well, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, you know, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
Okay, let's get into the questions. Because
Let's get it, girls. Okay.
My fiance's weird sisters. Dear Eliza, I love your
I
podcast.
love it. I'm in.
I know.
Break up with them. Next.
I love
Throw
your-
the whole family out. All right, fine.
I love your podcast. Listen to you and Emily every week when I walk home from work. When you were last in London, I found out about your tour from the podcast. I went to see you at the Apollo. It was amazing.
Yes.
It works.
It was. It does work.
I hope you come back soon and that the airplane is a comfortable temperature for you when you do. Cold airplanes suck. So do cold people. Segue to my question.
Whoa.
The issue. My fiance's weird sisters ignore me whenever I see them. Now, based on this email, I will just say, based on the name of this email, this is anonymous, but this is a woman.
Okay.
So just FYI.
Wait, can we institute something?
Yeah.
Give us a fake name.
Mm.
And I think it'll be a fun, creative thing for our fans to do.
Okay.
Give us a fake name. Like, come in and be like, I'm anonymous, but I'd like to be known as Imogen. That,
Okay.
because I think it's more fun.
Well, do you want like Imogen or do you want like Sleepless in Seattle?
I want fake names only. Like
You want-
signed Rib
I'm
Tip.
Sue. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
What-
like Rib Tip. Dearest Rib Tip.
Google, go to your local shelter page and look at what they've named all the little cats and go with any of those names.
Yeah. Pepper Bear.
Okay. My fiance's weird sisters ignore me whenever I see them. It is extreme. Literally, today, one walked into our home to get something from my fiance. I greeted her and said, "Hello, how are you?" She said nothing back and did not look at me, even though I was only a couple feet away from her. It has been like this since I first met them. When we're out to eat, they won't answer any statement I direct towards them. When I visit his parents' home, his sisters make a point not to come downstairs or will leave the house before I get
my
there.
God.
If they are there, they ignore me. I would like to think I have excellent social skills. I teach hundreds of wonderful students in healthcare, have a large group of friends, get along well with his parents, and I'm generally a people person. This behavior is so bizarre. We have decided to simply ignore the behavior and be polite when we see them. Is this the best course of action, or should we confront it so it doesn't get out of hand down the line? So, some more context.
Yeah, I need a lot more context.
His
Like,
fam-
are you a bitch?
His
Like,
fam-
have these girls written in about you?
right? Is this the other side of the
'Cause
question we've got?
What they're doing to you is what I would advise people to do with someone
If
who's
we-
annoying.
yeah.
So I need a lot of information.
Okay, here's what we've got. His family lives in the same city as us, but my family does not, so we see his family more frequently. His sisters are both around 30 years old with good professional jobs. My fiance thinks they should move out. They seem to think he should move back in and use his money to buy a big house for the 5 of them. Okay. Their behavior is not out of character. My fiance said he has always found his sisters very strange. He believes ignoring me is due to the fact that they have always talked a big game about moving out and starting their lives, but never have. So it's hard to see him and us doing so. Could also be that they simply don't like me, or perhaps our age gap. He is 10 years younger than me, and we've been together 6 years. The age gap has never bothered us, so why should it bother other people? Your faithful listener. Now, you notice this person, she did not tell us our age and his age.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So are the sisters, did they say the sisters are younger or older?
It doesn't say your other. It says they're both around 30. And I think the crux of this to me is they're like, hey, you move back in and buy a big house. They're around 30. They live with their parents. They're like, brother, move back in and all 5 of us can live in a big house together. So you're just an
Can I
outsider.
ask you a question? Are they like Indian? Like, is this some sort of ethnicity where the kids live with the parents for a long time?
Let's assume
Is this some sort of
not.
cultural thing? Are you like Irish, like gypsies?
I feel
where
like
they
if it was
all live together for-
cultural, they would have flagged it. So I would say let's
Okay.
assume that because they're saying
You're
that
just-
they're weird.
Okay, well, okay. There's 2 things that are either happening here. One, you're 45 and they don't like that you're 10 years older than their brother. Or you're 40 and he's 30. One, they don't think you're right for him.
Yeah.
Or 2, you're annoying and they don't like you. But let's say you're not annoying. It sounds like they're just trying to like ice you out. They don't like that you're there. Your soon-to-be husband needs to start standing up for you. These girls obviously, based on what you're telling me, which is really still not enough information, have some sort of weird, they don't like that you're taking the brother away. who they obviously feel like entitled to.
Yeah.
And this is less about them, and this has to be about how your soon-to-be husband sticks up for you. And the parents seem to like you. It's going to be tough to like air that all out because they seem like they have it like locked in their minds, like your lives are supposed to be a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Either just be okay with ignoring it and eventually they'll come to, or they'll just be like Grey Garden's weird forever. Or call it out, because what's the worst that could happen? They ignore you more. But like, do you deserve this? Like, is this really how you want to live your life, going over for holidays and stuff? And they just like, these two like pigeon sisters just like squirrel away somewhere.
Yeah, what did they do with previous girlfriends?
I need to know that. I need to know, we just need to know more.
Yeah.
But like, are they like obsessed with their brother? Does the brother take care of them? Were they really into each other? Like, were they a big part of each other's lives? And then 6 years ago, you came along. Like, we just need so much more information. Because it's like, I don't know, do you want to live the rest of your life like just like being ignored by them? So it's all, how do you want the rest of this marriage to go? Something's not right here. Something is weird. And if they are actually weird, it shouldn't bother you. Like, if they were like socially, there was something wrong with them, then it wouldn't bother you. But it bothers you because they actually might be normal, which means there's something unspoken here.
Right.
I need more info. And you know what? We haven't been getting any updates, or you're not doing your job, Emily. We've been getting any updates. And I would like one about this.
Okay.
Weird British family. Okay. Oh, or are they so wealthy that they just like don't speak to you?
I don't think so, because they want the brother to buy them a bigger house for all 5 of them to live in together.
People who have, that's called an estate. And that's what you want. I want to live on Hilfordshire Farms. Isn't that like a ham company?
Is that a meat? Yeah.
I want to live on Pepperidge Farms. All right. In a gingerbread house. Okay. Told you I was tired. Okay.
Hello,
Pepperidge
AI
Farms.
crew.
That's so stupid.
I just always think of the Family Guy bit where they're like, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I'll try to keep this nice and concise. Last year, some of my boyfriend's family members and I were able to score tickets to the Taylor Swift concert happening in a nearby city. It was a hefty price, but we all paid it and started making plans for the show that is happening later this year. Recently, one of the people who was supposed to attend dropped out of the plans because they are moving away. Since whoever their replacement is would be technically sharing my bed in the hotel room, I was given the green light to find somebody to take the ticket. If I didn't find somebody, my boyfriend's mom, who also was attending, was going to invite somebody she knew.
Okay.
I invited a longtime friend and let her know up front the full cost of the trip, including hotel. Since the ticket price of the concert was rather steep, the relative that dropped out said it was okay if they were paid back in chunks over time and not all at once. I relayed this information to my friend when I invited her, expecting her to send chunks of money here or there when she gets paid.
Oh.
It has now been 6 weeks since my friend was invited to the concert and has not made any payments toward the ticket. The relative who was selling their ticket is moving soon, and I want to get them their money ASAP. ASAP. I don't know why I said it ASAP. That sounds weird. A few weeks ago, I saw my friend, and she said she would start sending me money on her next payday. That paycheck came and went without any payments. Last time I reached out to her, I asked her if she'd thought about the payment schedule yet. She said she'd let me know in the next week or so. Since she owes my boyfriend's relative money and not me, it's put me in a weird position. Every time I see his family, I'm worried it's going to come up. I told my boyfriend I might just send the relative some money I have stashed away and instead my friend can owe me money, but he said that wasn't necessary. However, he does keep bringing it up and asking about payment status.
Okay.
How should I go about this with my friend? Should I give her some kind of deadline or schedule myself or hold off and hope that the next few weeks she's able to send some? I'm worried there won't be enough time between now and the concert to receive all the money. The ticket amount is $800. Thank you. Anonymous, even though that's probably pointless at this point.
Cut your losses, okay? That relative also will be out $800 if you can't find anyone. So they're okay with losing that money because they did cancel it. This does not have to be on you. And I don't mean that in like just connect the relative and your friend, because that does put you in an uncomfortable situation. Your friend is taking advantage of you and it's not a priority. Either they have money problems and they can't afford this, or they don't respect you. But you need to yesterday call the friend and be like, hey, this is putting me in an uncomfortable situation. I want to get this. Now, by the way, you don't have to get that relative paid before they leave. It's called Venmo. It's called wireless banking. It's called banks in general. If it were a friend that was like, and you trusted them, you would just get them the money whenever. The stress is not about the money. It's about the fact that you kind of just want to get this done.
Yes.
Immediately. You do not need to live this way. Immediately call that friend and be like, hey, we have another person interested. You can lie. Or just be like, hey, this is getting too stressful for me. I really want you to come. But if you can't, that's totally cool. But I think I need to move on and find someone else.
Yeah, if you can't pay $400 by the end of this week, you're out. We're not doing this.
Not even by the end of this week. No. Like, everybody has their money at their fingertips. Like, you can send it. Okay? That's it. And move on. That's not your friend. A friend does not act like that. I'm sorry. That's what, on this podcast, girls always forget, like, a friend who's supposed to love you, like, would not behave like this.
Right. They know they're putting you in a weird situation. Who do they think they're screwing over?
The relative leaving is cool about the money. Everybody else is cool. The only person now that's getting fucked is you, because you tried to find a replacement for money that this person, like, doesn't care about that much.
Well,
do not spend your life like this.
I like that you're like, well, I got to choose the person because they're sharing a bed with me. It's like, well, the person who's dropping out should actually have to fill that space. But okay, yeah. I get you don't want like your boyfriend's mother's friend in your bed with you. I don't know what's going on there. But
you know what? Like a queen bed and 2 twin beds usually cost the same. So there's no reason to share a bed. That's weird.
I'm guessing it's rooms with 2 queen beds in them. And then
do some shifting around.
Room. But yeah. I mean, that's the least of our concern.
That's ridiculous.
But this is really annoying.
Or just share a bed with a grown woman. Like, who cares? Like, it's not like you have to spoon.
I'm annoyed by the boyfriend that's like, no, it's totally fine. But also, do you have it yet? It's like, all right, why are you the debt collector for the aunt or the cousin?
And why? No, this friend is putting you in an uncomfortable situation with your family. Absolutely not. Call them right now and be like, hey, dude, it's putting me like... Unless she's like, I will give it to you right now, you're done.
Yeah.
And by the way, like if she doesn't answer or is weird, feel free to put feelers out. And I'm sorry if in 2 weeks she's like, hey, I've got the money. Be like, dude, I'm sorry. We gave the ticket away. Like this was just too hard.
Yeah.
Or just let her know. Or you could just be like, hey, so-and-so's family has a member that really wants to go to this. And so we're just going to go with them. We think it's easier. Because your friend probably wanted to go and now feels on the hook and they probably like don't know how to tell you. But this, you won't be friends with this person for that long. That's an insane way to act.
Yeah, I don't approve.
I've noticed that, at least since I've had my babies, that I smell differently when I sweat. Maybe I'm just like getting older. I don't know, but I smell differently. And I don't love that. If I'm on set or if I'm on stage or if I'm doing anything like functioning in public and I don't want sweat stains or to be aware of my stinky, stinky pits, that's when I turn to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant because it keeps me smelling fresh all day. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, under boobs, right ladies, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, your feet. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. How? Well, unlike certain traditional deodorants that may try to mask odor with a fragrance, Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack. That equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code Iliza for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code Iliza at LumiDeodorant.com. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling. And nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate softness bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Is a divorce the answer? Hi, Iliza and Emily. Serious question time. And it's going to be long-winded because I don't know any other way to explain my situation. Well, it's not too bad compared to some. I am 41 years old, no kids, 2 70-pound plus dogs, and have been with my husband for 10 years, married 6. He is 44. We have the same birthday. Not that our birthday has any bearing on the story, but I wanted you to know.
It is why we are together.
They're Aquarius.
Double discount at Chili's. Free birthday brownie.
Over the past couple years, our relationship has gone through a series of strains. His dad passed 2019 and turned the family upside down. His mom was completely reliant on her husband, and even though it has been 5 years, she has not recovered. I won't go into those dynamics because it would take too long. We've gone through financial struggles, mostly self-inflicted because we both love the idea of entrepreneurship, but that can sometimes come to our detriment. We have lived with
we love the idea of entrepreneurship, but we can't count.
We have lived with excess and we have lived with nothing. Both have had their own challenges. In times of stress, if alcohol is involved, he/we have both said mean and evil things to each other, and he has resorted to violence on occasion, never towards me. TVs, computers, doors, car door handles. Once it even sent him to the ER.
That's why you're bad with money. You're wasting all your money on replacing house parts. Yeah. And you don't have insurance. ER trips are expensive. Handles take weeks to come in.
By no means do I think he is 100% to blame, but his actions and words have led me to build walls and shut down. In the past, we've discussed couples therapy, but I wanted him to find the doctor and put some skin in the game, put in the effort to make changes for us. Needless to say, we've never had therapy. I've gone quite a bit, but he has not. I feel like I am painting a shitty picture of him, but I married him for a reason, obviously. There was a time when we went on adventures. We both loved to fish, run, hike, explore nature, all the outward adventurous things I would want in a long-term partner. Via social media, we looked like the best couple, but no one sees what happens at home. My problem. He is a 44-year-old child who would rather push my buttons to get a reaction because he craves attention like a 2-year-old rather than learn what would make me happy. And yes, I have told him what would make me happy, but I feel like he doesn't listen. Or maybe it's that he doesn't see my needs as a priority. I don't know. He can be defensive, and whenever we argue, he immediately goes to the extreme. It's dramatic and annoying. With my limited armchair psychology, I could break it down further, but let's not go there. Another huge problem, our sex life is non-existent. I know he wants it, but instead of doing something romantic, which is what I would want, he makes jokes and talks about blowjobs, which only pushes me further from wanting to do anything.
Which he knows we only each get on our birthday.
I feel like we are in a standoff, and I know my heels are dug in deep. I refuse to initiate anything because whenever I feel in the mood, he will inevitably do something to annoy me, and I don't try. Ugh. Even I am annoyed just writing this, and I feel like I have no one to talk to because the last thing I want to do is tell my family and have them think badly, not to mention it's embarrassing. Bottom line, I know I'm a catch and would be fine if I left him and we divorced, but I don't know if divorce is a path I want to pursue and have to deal with everything that follows. Where do I go? Where do I live? Do I take the dogs? Blah, blah, blah. I do love him, but I wonder if I love the idea of him and what we could be versus the reality of what we are. Another thing to note, and causes stress for my decision. My credit sucks. I don't make enough money to take care of myself and my dogs. And I know those issues would work themselves out. It just feels overwhelming, and I wish I could just snap my fingers and have the relationship I've always wanted from him. Also, I should note, he calls me a bulldog and says I am trying to run the show.
All right. This is
our relationship, and that drives me nuts. It's something his dad would say to his mom, and I am nowhere close to his mom. Help me.
It's not the relationship that you could have. You're actually mourning the relationship that you did have. And you aren't those people anymore. And there's literally nothing redeeming about this. This is your best friend. not your lover. So that's great that two best friends got married. And I'm sure if you had been successful financially, some of this might be a little bit easier, but in sickness and in health, for better, for worse. So when push comes to shove, he chooses to push buttons and rip handles off doors. And it is his responsibility. You're like, it's not all him. That is his choice to act like that. And you have said, let's do therapy. You've tried to come up with ways to make it better, and he hasn't taken them. You don't have to get a divorce, but you should separate. Because it seems like maybe you haven't done any work, telling him like, you got to find the therapist, and he doesn't even want to do it. Like, he was never going to do that. But if you're telling me that every time you argue, he turns it on you and he always makes it worse and he calls you mean names. When a guy calls a woman a bulldog, it's basically removing anything sexual from anything. He's like, you bossed me around, and he's like feeling emasculated. Mom. Yeah, no, that's so fucking gross. So you definitely need time apart. And I hear you. You're like, divorce is expensive and I can't support myself. That is life, supporting yourself. And it's not like he's making a ton of money. You're like, what do I do with the dogs? You figure it out. So do you want to spend your life miserable and like psychologically damaged all because you didn't know what to do with these two 70-pound dogs and you couldn't get a different job or stay with a friend or find like a guest house to rent or something? You need to find a way to get out of there, remove yourself, and maybe you guys could split up for a little bit, see each other in a few months, see how you were feeling. But no one is being heard here, and any attempts to make it better are being thwarted by him. You have to decide deep down what you want, but it does not sound like this is a loving relationship. You guys just sound like roommates who kind of are annoyed at each other.
Yeah, even the stuff you like, you're like, yeah, we used to do things together we liked, and now we never do and he never tries. It's like, okay, then you're done.
Maybe his dad dying took like a weird toll on him. Maybe your business is not doing well. I don't know, but this marriage is not what it was. People grow apart. Do it now, because in a year from now, you will be glad that you did it.
I think we don't talk about this as much. It's like, to go from dual income to single income with two 70-pound dogs, they eat a lot. Like, it's not easy. Yeah, maybe you need to start like setting yourself up. Like, can you get a rent? Is there another job you could get? What do you do now? Yeah. Are you still trying to build a business? Like, that is really hard when you're kind of stuck with someone, because it's like you can't start a new life.
Yeah. If you're an entrepreneur, that means you're a go-getter, and that means you are self-motivated. But it sounds to me like you are in a bit of a rut. You're like, I tried all these businesses. They didn't work. I'm stuck with this. I don't know what to do. Like, you need you need pressure relieved in one part of your life so that you can, like, all the systems can start moving. So maybe you could make more money, then you could leave, then you could get away from that. Maybe if you and him were better, then everything else would feel better. But right now you're like locked. Yeah. So you need to gather the courage to make a change, and everything else will start to feel better. It's like when your hamstrings are locked up and you stretch your hamstrings, all of a sudden your back doesn't hurt as much, then your neck feels a little bit better and you don't have a headache. Work those hammies.
Hi, Liza, Emily, and Scotty. I've been a long-time fan of Iliza, but just started listening to the podcast. I don't know what took me so long, but I'm going back through the archives to catch up. Still not sure what the hot Scotty reference is, LOL.
Keep listening. I think it might go back to like when we were at Wondery. Like, I think this is like week 1.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
You made a little song for him, but I don't remember why.
Yeah, Ask Iliza Anything has over 300 episodes, but that's just been with Earwolf.
No, that's everywhere. The whole archive is from Wondery and here. We have over 100 with Earwolf, but there were like 100 with 150 maybe with Wondery.
And that's not even counting the podcast I had
before that, right?
Where you produced it prior to that. I've been podcasting since, what year did we meet? 2016?
No. Earlier than that.
2015, and I'm still
14, 15?
Still making no money.
2014, maybe.
Still having people that are like, I didn't know you had one. Well, just know I'm not a bandwagon jumper. I've been here.
You've been here. All right.
We tried booking guests. It's too hard. Okay, what?
Every show has guests. You know what? We're unique. We don't have a guest. You know who you're going to
You know
hear.
what? You want to come?
You know what? I listen to a lot of podcasts, and a bad guest can really ruin the vibe if you like the show. So we're giving all of our nurse listeners exactly what they want. Never a surprise.
What you want is me and like a dusting of Emily, and that's what you're getting here. Unfiltered, unadulterated, me and a dusting of Emily. Well, Emily dust. A little bit of dried cat pee.
Here is my question. My ex-husband and I are separated, and our divorce is final in November.
See what people do?
They
Person
divorced.
before? There you go.
To make a long story short, he cheated on me for almost a year with a nursing school classmate who was also married and had a 2-year-old child. He left me for her in May after being married for 11 years and together 15 years. Absolutely devastating. I actually started listening to the podcast to give myself a guaranteed laugh, a good distraction, and not trigger myself with music. We have a separation agreement, and it states that he has 6 months to get his stuff out of our home, which I am keeping. He still has a lot of stuff left in the home, and I am not his wife anymore, so I'm not reminding him to come get it or what to remember to take.
There you go.
However,
there you go.
There are a few sentimental things his mother gave us throughout the duration of our marriage. For example, the Christmas stocking his departed grandma made for him, a handmade 4th of July wreath she made for his departed grandpa, and baby pictures of my ex-husband. I don't want to keep these things, but it's also not my responsibility to remind my ex to come take them. Should I give them back to his mother? For context, I never really got along with his parents, especially his mother, and I am happy they are no longer my in-laws. Lots of issues over the years, but it all started from them making Jews in the oven jokes when I first met them. What? So there is my quandary. Okay, that really does change things. What should I do with my ex's family sentimental items? Remind him, give them back to his parents, keep or toss them. I'd love to know what you think. Thank you for taking my email. It doesn't change it. Here's the important part, though. I'm a huge Iliza fan. I was so excited I got to meet her in D.C. in November at the Good Feelings tour. It was by far the best comedy show I've ever seen. My ex was with me at the time.
No good feelings, hard feelings.
I'm sorry.
No good vibes.
Well, they had good feelings. It still bugs me. He got the opportunity to meet you. I got to meet Noah there too, buy his cookbook and take a pic. And there's the cutest picture of our listener and Noah. I watched DPP, see attached, and then love all you do, keeping an advocate for us Jewish women out here. It means more you know, Julia. And then her Instagram handle has Julia spelled with Jew.
Advocating for Jewish women and regular women.
No, only the Jewish ones. Oh, and you signed something. No, did Noah write this? Yeah, it says thank you
illegible?
So much. Fiber up, and then you both.
That's Noah. It's Noah. He's right. People don't need enough fiber.
I love Noah.
The oven joke is annoying and disgusting and ignorant, but that actually has nothing to do with this. Okay, because you stayed married, so obviously whatever. But that's fair that it stems from that. At your core, you're a very good person.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that what he did was shitty and you don't like his family, but you know that these are sentimental items that he would like. And because you did have love for this person and you know better, I get that you want like a waiting to exhale moment where you set it all on fire. You will, I think, what I'm gleaning from this, I think you will feel better. Toss it in a garbage bag. If his parents live near, throw it on their doorstep. That's all. You don't even have to send him. If it's a garbage bag, they might think it's garbage. Maybe put it in a box, whatever. You don't even have to send him a text because they will be like, hey, this stuff showed up.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not too much. If it is too much, you toss it in a box and you text him. You be like, there's some like whatever, your stocking or whatever. He'll know what the items are. They're in a box on the curb. I suggest you get it today if you want it. And then there's nothing. He'll be like, oh, I'm out of time. Nothing. Block, delete, you're done. I think you give him I think you would feel bad if you just like burned it.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the version that he doesn't care at all, which is why I think since you suggested giving it to the mom, dump it. Rid your house of it, smudge it, never pick up again. Let it be their problem. That's what I would do, actually.
Yeah.
Because the mom will call him immediately. Yeah, perfect. Perfect solution.
Your own solution.
Fucking throw it through their windows and be like, Crystal Knock Part 2, bitches. How's it feel being on the receiving end of this?
Learn some history.
There you go. Some of our listeners are like, what? Just Just, Jew hating 101. Anyways, that's what I would do because you're not a bad person. Don't let his actions define yours. Even though what he did was so horrible, you would be within your rights to do all that.
Yeah. But don't disrespect the memory of probably the racist grandma and grandpa. You're a good person.
They didn't know any better. It's whatever. Everyone was hating Jews at the time. We didn't know. I made them sound Jewish. Whoops.
I have a Jewish question for you. I can't hear. They're adding an annex at the office. I can't hear the word annex without thinking of Anne Frank. Is that what everybody thinks of when they hear the word annex?
No.
Oh. I only think of that word in conjunction with the Holocaust. And they're like, oh, there's a new annex in the office. And I was like, what do you mean?
Why? It's just because of the ANNE?
I swear to God, wasn't there an annex in the house?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like an annex could also be like.
I mean, it's just an addition.
Like
the secret annex. Right. They called it the secret annex. Yeah. I know.
It's an attic.
That word specifically to me, I'm just like, oh, whenever I see it. All right, well.
You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad you think about it. Some people don't ever think about her and that. So I'm glad it stays on your mind for a weird tangential reason, but still counts that it's in your thoughts.
Well, I'm always learning. I'm always learning and growing.
There you go.
All right. Wedding question. Surprise. Please don't use my name. Gotcha. My best friend is getting married and I'm a bridesmaid. We're both in our 30s. She's also pregnant. She's doing her bachelorette party, bridal shower, baby shower, and rehearsal dinner all the day before the wedding.
Oy. Okay. Well, knock it out. That's inspired. Awful.
Me being in the wedding is already pretty tight financially, but I'm making it work. Would it be tacky for me to not get her a gift? I want to get her something, but it's just not possible at the moment. Side note, I'm also going on my way to pick up her photographer to ride with me to the wedding so she can afford to go. Thanks. Not a grad student or a nurse. Love the pod.
I don't think the idea that you're picking up the photographer is that big of a deal. You're being a really good bridesmaid. I don't know if you're the maid of honor. You honestly can pick up a baby toy for like 99 cents. Like you can go to a Goodwill place and get like brand new baby clothes. Like you can get something and you also don't have to give her that baby gift right now. I know you're going to be able to have some money a little bit later. Like you're giving her a wedding gift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all you owe is a wedding gift. And then do you have $30 to get like a monogrammed onesie for like junior? You don't have to give. When people do baby registries, they do price points or any registry for people that have a lot of money and people that can't afford much. It could be a nail clipper.
Mm-hmm.
It can be some nice washcloths.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry too much about it. But I don't know. I think it's more that you're just like, I'm already doing so much for you.
Right. It just is so much going on. You definitely don't need a gift for all those occasions, but if you can bring one small thing for the overarching event you're going to, that would be nice.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a baby shower, I mean, if this girl's doing all of that, which I actually think is kind of genius.
Yeah.
Like she probably doesn't have like a ton of money. You can afford a $5 like cherished memories,
a baby
book, a picture frame.
A blanket with like a giraffe on it.
Yeah. Something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A giraffe. That'll do. That's
giraffe in my mind is like the gender neutral baby animal.
But it has to be a baby giraffe. Nobody wants to see a full grown giraffe.
No, gross.
And I say that because my daughter has one in her room and she did not like it for a very long time because it's so huge.
Does she like it now?
Yeah, she's fine with it now. I told her it watches over her. It literally does. All right.
Hi, Iliza, Emily, et al. I've listened to AIA every week for the last 6 years, and that time I moved house, met my husband, married him, and turned 30. I can't believe
that's the kind of commitment we're talking about. Thank you.
Can't believe I'm now actually writing in with my own bridesmaid question. I think I need to educate my friend on bridesmaid etiquette, but not sure how to approach it. I am maid of honor to my friend for her wedding next year. She's got a huge heart and has ended up with 6 bridesmaids, quite a high number for the UK. She's mentioned in passing she's regretted asking so many people and that she can't afford to pay for dresses. Fine, it's becoming less customary for the bride to do that. She wrote in the WhatsApp group that she wanted us all to be comfortable and she was happy for us to have free reign over our dresses as long as they were blue. She didn't ask us to send them for her approval and didn't mention anything about covering or contributing to the cost. She separately said to me she would contribute some money to mine since I'm maid of honor, but I would feel uncomfortable with that when none of the other bridesmaids are getting the same. The thing that has made me think I need to have a conversation with her is that she's just out in the group chat that she's just put in the group chat that she's booked her wedding makeup and that if any of us want ours done, it's going to be 75 pounds per bridesmaid and to let her know.
Right.
She said she would have loved to pay for us, but hers is already costing a lot and the wedding is costing so much already.
Yeah.
Am I fair to feel a bit snubbed? I'm planning the hen party 2 nights abroad and we're all paying for her share. I feel like she's asked us to be bridesmaids, but we're having to pay for the privilege. I struggle to imagine how it will be in the morning of the wedding if some of us are getting our makeup done, but some are using their own Urban Decay eyeshadow palette from 15 years ago and a slightly damp-smelling beauty blender.
They are really big palettes. They last forever.
How do I have a conversation with her without embarrassing her about bridesmaid etiquette, that there should be at least hair and makeup paid for? For context, her husband-to-be comes from a very wealthy family, and she has told me his mom has previously offered them money for the wedding, which they have declined. This is tough because this person's from the UK, and I feel like the customs are different there. Is it? I am insultingly have only been asked to be a bridesmaid for my sister and no one else, so I don't know. But is it customary to pay for their hair and makeup?
I don't think so.
I don't.
And I actually remember I went to a very nice wedding and they had a lot of money and she bought all of our bridesmaids' dresses. And when she did that, I was blown away because she bought the jewelry, the shoes, like they had a lot of money.
My parents
but I seem
did
to
that
remember
for the dresses.
the option. What?
My parents did that for my sister's wedding. My parents paid for the bridesmaids' dresses. Yeah, but I didn't think that was normal. I just thought that was like.
I don't think it is. And I'm saying for hair and makeup, I feel like it was an option to get it, but I felt like because the wedding was in Houston and because I work in entertainment and lived in LA, I was like, I'm going to do my own. And it was great.
And I don't think everyone needs to look as good as the bride. Like the bride can have professional make. Not that you should look bad, but it's not like everybody needs to match level wise.
No, it's not even I just don't think, at least in this country, I don't think you are obligated to pay for this. This is a service that you are doing for the bride. I think you're a little weirded out because like the bride did offer to pay for you for something and then she's like not offering for this. The conversation about them not taking any of the parents' money is not your place, unfortunately.
Right.
Like that's their weird decision. When people do that, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Take that fucking money. It doesn't sound like she's asking for a ton. And you could do your own hair and you can do your own makeup. I don't think a conversation needs to be had. It seems like
I guess she's saying she's organizing the hen. She's organizing a party abroad and they're paying for the bride's ticket.
That's
and
what
stuff.
people do,
That's
though.
what you do,
Yeah.
right?
That's what you do.
What
I mean,
you
and you're going to the party and you're being there for her. And if you
you're getting
couldn't do it,
food and alcohol.
yeah, it's a big party, and this is what it is. I'm sorry, they call it a hen party. And if you couldn't do it, you wouldn't sign up for it. Hen do. That's right. I don't think there's a conversation to be had. I think you're annoyed because you know that there could be funds, and she's chosen not to. But that's neither here nor there. That's what I think, and I think it's very normal. I feel like I've done something recently where it's like we will have hair and makeup there if you want to pay for it. That is a lot of money, and it's not an integral part of the wedding. Like every girl owns makeup and you get all done together and you have champagne and that's it.
Yeah.
Your friend just kind of sounds a little like scattered. Like I'm going to do it on my own. Oops, I invited too many people, whatever. But that's what it is. You pay for the bride. You'd feel bad if she paid for herself. Then like that feels weird.
There's 6 of you. What's 75 times 6? Like
no one knows. No one knows.
6 times 25, like 400 something. 450.
You have a calculator built in. I mean, you have your TI-83 right there. I don't know why.
Why I'm pretending. It's like over 400 pounds. Just
But,
for
like,
everybody
just
else
do
to
your
have
own
hair and makeup. Who cares? Like,
yeah,
nobody's gonna be looking at you in the photos. Who cares?
There you go. Yeah. The fact that she, in a private moment, said that the parents offered money and they declined, that's their thing. You're just there. Yeah, it's fine. Are you thinking that if she had less people, she would like have covered the cost of everything?
Sounds like it. There's less and they pay. Now, I think we also should say we're American. If your customs are totally different and every wedding you pay for the people, like that's
then you should write into a British podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they need to pay, I don't think you need to worry about it. There's nothing to be said. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's not like she's expecting you all to get like Prada gowns and everyone's got to ride in a private jet. You know, she was pretty casual about it. I think if anything, I feel bad for your friend because she's kind of not getting what she wants.
Yeah.
Or she was just shit talking some girls and she does want it. So
Right.
she's going to get what you paid for and that'll be that.
Yeah.
When everybody shows up in like a blue denim dress from Mervyn's because she was not specific.
Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
You want to start with bottom or top?
Let's start with bottom. So we can go, I think we should always do bottom so we can go out on a high note with top. I'll do my bottom last. So you do your bottom. Then we'll do a fan bottom.
So my bottom is the one that the lesbians are going to be up in arms about. I was crying in a parking lot, threw up in a parking lot from dehydration yesterday.
Oh my God.
Because I was out in the Georgia sun. So I went, I had a drink with George. I had lunch with him. And then I stopped at this store on the way home. And I had not had, like, I was just overheated. It was like 1,000,000,000 degrees in Georgia. And there was a stray kitten. And I spent over an hour chasing this stray kitten around a parking lot trying to catch him and save him. And I couldn't. I couldn't
You
get
kept
him.
running?
Kept running under different cars. I'm begging people to help me. I get some ladies water. I chase him into behind a circus tent because it was this gross strip mall and there was like a circus there. I'm chasing him all over. He's under cars. He's in a bush. I got cut up. I burned myself on the concrete. And after an hour, I was so dehydrated. It was so hot outside. Like, again, I threw up because I was like so dehydrated and I had been running just in heat, no trees. I had to leave him. I couldn't get him out from under this car. And I felt like I was condemning him to death. And I know realistically that's not like you can't save them all. But to have seen him and not get him was so devastating for me that I was just like, I don't know what to do. Like I was just sitting in the parking lot, like on the ground next to a car crying, getting so mad at people. This family came and he was under their car. And I was like, I'm sorry, there's a kitten under your car. Let me at least try to scare it under another car before you pull out. The woman goes, when we start the car, he'll move. Doesn't matter. And I'm like,
that's
and she
rough.
had 2 kids with her. And I'm just like, fuck off. Like I was just so devastated to not be able to do anything. And there's like not, what do you do? Like, I can't get him. There's nothing else to do. So now I'm like, do I need to buy a little net and keep it in my car? Like, what do you do? What do you do? It was just horrible. It was such a horrible day. I was just like so upset about it.
It's hard too because you have like a micro fantasy of like catching the cat and like bringing him home, giving him a bath.
To the vet. I'm Googling emergency vets because he's probably like tired and hot.
Yeah. Like you are excited about being his savior and you envision the life you're going to have with this amazing cat. The cat's probably fine. He probably has a food source elsewhere and is just like terrified. But it is that thing like when you watch like a sad video of like some killer whale being mistreated at a SeaWorld or something. There are so many horrific things happening to animals at all times. It's not about turning a blind eye, but you can't save them all. And if you think that's bad, like don't look at a zoo in China. So give yourself a break and you're a good person. And if it was in the cards to catch him, you would have. And he's probably fine.
He was really hyped. I mean, I got Gracie up out of a car engine, but she was so dehydrated and flea bitten. She was easy to catch. Genuinely. This guy was like, had spunk. He was screaming at me the entire time.
He's fine.
He's fine, but it was just so hard to leave him there. Like, it was just so hard.
Yeah.
I'm driving away sobbing, just like, I'm going to get in an accident.
No. Oh, God. You're like on the news. You're like, you understand, officer.
I slammed
privileged
into a
white
semi.
woman upset about cat. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah, so it's my bottom. Fan bottom. Well, I'm putting it as a bottom. She says, Caitlin says, hey, gang, not sure if this is a top or bottom, but shout out to anyone else at the Hanover, Maryland show who was sitting in section 102, rows J, K, and behind in the seat range 10 to 20, who had to watch the weirdo swinger makeout session that lasted the entire show. We were in row J. Did you? And there were 2 couples who kept sucking face and petting each other the entire show. Like couple A and couple B made out, and then woman A and woman B made out, and then man A was playing with and pulling woman A's hair while she had her arm around woman B and was stroking man B's ear and tickling his neck. We got up to leave at the end of the show and looked at the couple sitting behind us and said, was it just us or was that weird? That was weird, right? They confirmed it was indeed weird AF. It was quite a show. Thanks for going to Baltimore area. Hanover isn't Baltimore and definitely isn't DC, but you can reliably get to the casino without having to navigate political protests, like the disaster we got stuck in back in November for your show at DAR. We had a blast at our third Iliza show, Caitlin. So did you see this, Iliza?
First of all, Caitlin, you're a real one for walking through fire to see me. Now that you're saying it, I'm like, was that Baltimore? Because I could have sworn we had that feedback at the show in Minneapolis. So
your show's
now
really
I'm
getting people going.
I'll tell you what, I don't know about the Baltimore one. It is annoying. I just want you guys to all to know this. If you are at a show, you have purchased a ticket. You have a right to enjoy a performance unencumbered by other people's fucking weirdness. Please always get up and go get an usher or security and alert them to something because you should not have to sit through something that is disruptive.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, is my brain completely melted? I want to say it was in Minneapolis this week. This woman, as she was walking on stage for the meet and greet, she like made Hunter like twirl her. And she walked up and she was like, hey, are we doing this? And I was like, you're drunk. It doesn't matter. I was like, let's go. Come on. Like when you are weird to me, I'm like, we're just going to get through this now.
Yeah.
And the security guy goes, I got something to tell you. And she left and he was like, this couple was all over each other. Like they were on something.
Yeah.
Like on ecstasy. And I'm like, who's like, let's pop ecstasy and then go sit in a seat and listen to a lecture. Please, please, please always go find someone because I really hate to think that like your enjoyment and your night out and the money you spent is being wasted because somebody's being an idiot.
Yeah.
My bottom of the cup. Okay, well, you know what? It's actually a combo now that I think about it.
Okay, perfect. Then do you want to save it for the end or transition?
Yeah, that's good. Okay. I'll do a double.
Okay, so then my top of the cup is also pet related in that I got a text last week from Gracie's old vet, like, hey, she's due for vaccines. So I called and I was like, she's not, she's dead. But I didn't say that. But I was like, please take me out of the system. I don't want to do this. I don't want to ever get these messages
again. They can never take you out of the system.
No.
You'll be on the system forever.
Right. And but I talked to like the lady that I liked from the front desk and she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, when did it happen? I'm like, oh. So
I don't want to talk about this.
Right. But
by the way,
shout
out to Creatures Great and Small Veterinary Clinic in Charleston for the one time I took Tian Fu there while I was shooting Righteous Gemstones and they will not take me out of their system.
They're
like I do not live in your state. Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was it's like a bummer to get that message, but it's fine. Like they're nice. I like them. And I told them again, I'm like, yeah, you guys were always wonderful with Gracie. Thank you. So anyway, yesterday I had my cat ordeal. I was devastated. I went over to my parents' house or Saturday or whenever it happened. And then I got a comment on my Instagram from my favorite vet, Gracie's vet, who I adored, who I was obsessed with. And she said, I heard about Gracie, I'm so sorry. Like I loved her. Like just the nicest comment. And it made me I started sobbing. It was so thoughtful. She like went back and found my post of Gracie and just commented on it about like that she remembered her and us and knew that I gave her a good life. And I was like, oh my God. Like it was just so
that's
nice.
Cosmic. Like of all the moments to have that happen.
Right. Exactly.
That's the universe saying like, hey, take it easy.
Right. You got that other car cat. You can't have another.
Not everyone gets two car cats. Yeah.
And the fan top of the cob. Iliza, I read this and I was like, Eliza's going to 100% agree with this. I feel like, okay. My top of the cob is baby related and kind of gross, but hear me out. When your baby has a big booger right inside their nose where you can reach it, you can get it all out with your finger instead of having to use the nose sucker. Why do I hear that and immediately think that you'll like it? Like you do,
so
right? So
satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get them to sit still and you're like, we've never used the nose sucker. Myrna just always use like a warm cloth, but with Sierra, when they're older, you're just like, come here.
Yeah.
And they fight you. You're like, give me that worm. And you pull it out. Okay, my top and bottom of the cup.
Yeah.
Falls under the category of I'm a little bit smarter now and the more you know, social awareness. Bottom line, I will make this brief. I have a shirt that I love. And it is the I'm wearing it right now. U.S. Air Force. Sorry. It is the Yokota Air Base U.S. Air Force Fire Department shirt that I was gifted in Yokota when I did, which is in Japan, when I did a show for them during my USO tour last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I wear it because I like the way it fits, and I'm proud to have gone there and performed for these men and women. And I was in the grocery store with Sierra, who looked beautiful, and this older couple I don't know, late 60s, early 70s. I have no idea. I have some idea because I just told you. They were like, oh, what a beautiful little girl. Started chatting. And the guy sees my shirt and he was like, oh, were you in the service? And I was like, no, but I perform with the USO for our troops. He was like, oh, what do you do? I was like, I'm a comedian. And so I told him a little bit about the tour and that. And we just started chatting, just like grocery store chat. And he's like, oh, I was like, were you in the service? And he said, I was. And I said, oh, thank you for your service. And then I was like, did you fight in Korea? And he was like, I'm not that old. I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know. But then he also mentioned that he was in Iraq. And I was like, you seem too old to have been in Iraq. So I'm just going to I don't really know what we're talking about now. But I mentioned, and I always do this, and I think, I don't know, I always try to organically work in the fact that I'm Jewish when I have a conversation with a stranger. Super organic. Like we have to be on a topic. It can't just be like, I got this Annie Ann's pretzel and I'm Jewish.
You don't pull out like you on the cover of Jewish Times or whatever. Like, by the way, Times. I can autograph this.
Oh, is that me? That is, I could autograph. But I did say to him, I said something about like, yeah. And I told him that I'm going back this year. And I said, I said something about where I've been and we're chatting about it. And I said, yeah, he said something about Afghanistan. And I said, I've been a few times. And then he said something about Iraq. And I go, I spent Christmas Eve in Iraq one year. And I just love performing for our troops, especially over the holidays. And he was like, oh, chatting. And I said, I'm Jewish, so it's no problem for me to give up Christmas because it's kind of a funny joke. I'll mention that I'm Jewish, one, to give people, some people have never met a Jewish person. And I think I'm a very nice person. And I think sometimes when you meet someone that is that is a minority, I hate this, but if you have a good experience, then, you're like, well, I met a Jewish person. Like how we're like, oh, I had a black friend growing up. So therefore I understand it. We need these touchstones. I had a friend that was from this country and they seemed okay. It seems stupid, but I think people being face to face with people who are different than them, I think it helps. I think it helps in terms of humanizing a group that's vilified.
Right.
And so I said that. And I did it to show like, hey, I'm out here being patriotic, performing for people like you while other people are literally trying to burn our country down and put us all like in fucking burqas. Okay. That's what Hamas wants. And the people that are, okay, whatever. So I said that. I said it very casually. And he, meaning really well, said back, well, hey, I don't care what religion you are or anything like that, as long as you, and then he said something like, when you're out there in a foxhole or in the field, it doesn't matter. And, just as long as you, and then I kind of stopped listening. And I realized that the response of, I don't care what color you are, is always said well-intended. When someone is of color and you say, like, and I don't care what color you are.
Right,
I just want someone that's
Christian.
Well, right. But I definitely know that in moments of trying to show someone that I'm an ally, have said, I'm probably, definitely like, I don't care what color you are, or like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're gay or straight or purple, or like, we love to like make up other things. And in that moment, hearing it said to me, I remember thinking, what makes you fucking think for a second that I care that you would even care in the first place? Because to say, oh, I don't care what color, what religion you are.
Why do you have to say it?
And it, you could tell that it was coming. I think intention is a huge thing. You could tell it was coming from a good place. He was trying to be like, oh, well, that's so great. And by the way, it doesn't even matter. And I was like, if it didn't matter, then you wouldn't say it.
It's okay. You're not the default thing, which is white Christian.
That's right.
That's okay.
Right.
You can be, or it's all right.
Yeah, and I guess
great.
He meant it well, and I knew that. I knew that he meant it well, so I didn't take any offense to it. But him being like, yeah, and no matter what you are. And I think that's only said when you are speaking to someone that is usually of color or gay or just like of a minority, and you say it to let them know like, hey, I don't even think about that. But the truth is we all think about it.
Right.
But it does presuppose that the person who's saying it to you is in a position to decide whether it would be okay or not. And not that I go around saying to Asian people or brown people or black people, like, I don't care what color you are, but I think we've moved past that comment. And so I think the best way to show that you don't care is to actually not say it.
And to not care.
I appreciated the education.
If you don't care, it doesn't need to be acknowledged.
And by the way, noticing, having thoughts, like those things are okay. So in a way you care, but it does not have to be the conversation, and it doesn't have to, you're qualifying the existence of someone.
Mhm.
And again, he didn't mean it, but I just was like, oh, because I truly was not looking for his approval.
Mhm.
And so in that micro moment, I just kind of got it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Isn't that fun?
Top and bottom. Yeah. And it was a fine conversation. Like he was whatever.
Right. But it's interesting.
I don't care if you're Jewish. And I'm like, I didn't think you shouldn't.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I don't see you giving up your Christmas to go perform for the troops.
Oh.
I didn't say that. But anyway.
All right.
That was it. It was a good one. I appreciated the little micro moment I had.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit wiser that day. But we're good about it.
Look at you.
Immediately wanted to call a black friend and be like, dude.
Oh my God.
But I didn't.
Is this what it's like for
didn't.
you? Yeah.
Now I get it. Now we're sisters.
Right.
So always keep talking about things. And I don't subscribe to the thing where it's like, educate yourself. You need to learn. We should always talk about our experiences. It's not on anyone to educate you, but I will tell you as a Jewish person, I'm always happy to give you some insight. I'm not angry when people have questions. I was talking to a trans woman the other day, and she was saying how she just had her bottom surgery, and she was so open about it. And I was like, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, yeah, anything. And I was like, because we're never allowed to ask. And I just asked her about the surgery, not like in a probing way, because she was like, you can customize the entire vagina. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, you can. You don't even have to have it be something that you can penetrate. And I was like, really? She's like, yep, I don't have that. And you're never allowed to ask. She was like, you can have huge labia. You could have no clitoris. You could have, and I was just like, these are things you're not allowed to ask because they usually come from like a freak show, weird, disrespectful place. But like, we should be allowed to ask these things.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I consider myself a lesbian. I was born a man. I started doing drag. And then I realized that I was unhappy out of it. And then I realized that I was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a girlfriend. And I was just like, I just listen. Because in the moment, as I'm talking about it, I'm like, it doesn't matter what I have to say back.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I did drop, that of course, trans rights are human rights. But I just was like, sometimes when people are sharing their story, they're not looking for you to validate it with any sort of liberal soundbite. So, but I didn't know, and you're never allowed to ask. So anyone that says to you, I'm not here to educate you, like that person's a dick. Ask away.
I mean, it depends. I get how some people are exhausted.
Right. I don't need you poking and prodding. That's fair, but I think this is why the internet is evil and human interaction is important, because you can tell someone's intention. But then again, if it was all day, every day, someone asking if they could touch my hair, I'd be fucking pissed too. So take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
That's all. I appreciated the education. You put it that way.
Yeah. That's fun.
Or I was supposed to be at the top of the column. I liked it. I love learning. I always love micro evolutions. And I love doing this podcast. And I'll probably go take a big nap now. Going to be gone for Labor Day weekend. And then we are in the state of Louisiana. Notice I didn't pronounce it Louisiana because that's hacky. I'm sorry, that's not true. I'm sorry. It's not true. I'll be in Louisville. So another Louisville Palace Theater in Louisville, Kentucky. Right before that, we're at the Northern Indian Hard Rock Casino in Gary, Indiana, birthplace of Michael Jackson. And then September 7th, I will be returning to the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville. Get your tickets at Iliza.com/tour. We will see you out there. And remember, divorce is not always
bad. Sounds good for a lot of you. They're right in.
That is the correct answer. Thank you so much.
You're out here hustling, but you're also using the McDonald's app to have your favorites delivered to your door. That's hustling smarter. Order McDelivery in the McDonald's app. At participating McDonald's.
When living with cancer, it's important to be informed and know what to expect. But finding the right information can feel overwhelming. That's why UnderstandCancerTogether.com is here to help. We've gathered practical information and resources based on where you are in your cancer journey, so that you can focus on the important conversations and decisions of today. UnderstandCancerTogether.com, helping you navigate life with cancer one moment at a time.